Welcome to the slipstream of wanderlust. Hello everyone, my name is Ken. I love backpacking, hiking mountains, doing crazy stuff, going to tropical paradises, meeting new people, and experiencing new things. I am a born traveler. Every year you will find me in a new country. Come along with me and see the wonders of the world at the corners of the globe with me. Hello everybody, this is my tutorial on backpacking and how to pack your backpack. So very shortly I'm going to be going to Asia again, and this time I'm going to be going on a business trip. So on this business trip I'm going to be going to Indonesia for a very short time, about a month. And then after that month I'm going to make my way north, backpacking and busing into Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, so forth. So in this video, I'm going to go over what I pack and how I pack my bag, what kind of bag that I use, and why I pack the items that I do. Okay, everybody, so this is my bag. It's a Tasmanian Tiger MK3, 62 liter. It's a great little bag. I use it on mountain climbing, stuff like that. So in this bag, since I'm going on business, I have to take a formal jacket with me. Since I'm also going to be backpacking, hitchhiking, and doing some general tourism, I'm going to be bringing a GoPro with me. And then this is something that I do. Maybe other people don't need to do it, but if they have something that they want protecting, such as a GoPro camera or a nice suit jacket that they don't want to be squished up, they can use something called a retainer. This is a retainer. It's just a dollar store garbage can cut in half so that it protects things from being squashed when you put your bag on the airplane or on a bus, or when you throw it around, put it down. Don't want nothing getting squished. So every single thing that I put into the bag, since I'm going to be going through the tropics during the wet season, ends up inside of a 55-gallon black garbage bag. So everything inside the bag, even though the bag is waterproof, it has a waterproof liner to it. It's rubberized. It doesn't keep all the moisture out. If anybody's ever been backpacking before, gets caught in a rainstorm, I think you know. So everything goes inside the black garbage bag. And then when you stop and you want to change, you're cold, and you want to change your clothes, and you got nice dry clothes. Since I'm going to the tropics, I'm going to take a nice pair of Carolinas with me because I don't like the mud. I do not like the mud, and I do not like stepping with flip-flops in the mud, which I think a lot of people maybe feel the same about that they're like, I don't want to wear flip-flops in the mud, you know. So I line my boots flat on top of each other like that inside the box, sort of like a yin-yang, flat section. This one is dress clothes. Got a pair of dress pants in here. Dress pants and a tie. Now this is just an experimental packing of the bag. It's not actually a 100% accurate packing of the bag. Every single layer should be in a garbage bag. And since I'm going to be going through the airport, first, I want to make an experiment as to yeah, I can put everything into a small bag. So, for example, I can put everything into this small bag. Anything that wants to fit inside of this small bag. And while I'm walking around, hitchhiking, backpacking, whatever, I can lay this bag flat on my back, in between my back and the big bag. So that way there's no chest bag, there's no bulky extra bag that you gotta walk around with and put down somewhere, possibly somebody run off with it. So I like to keep this bag. I don't like to keep anything in the bag unless I'm going out during the day and I leave my stuff in a hostel or a hotel. So I do bring an extra backpack with me, but if everything doesn't fit inside of this backpack and this backpack alone, I have too much stuff. You don't want to go over the weight capacity of roughly 20 pounds. I think that's a really good threshold, 20 pounds. If you go to walk really far, say, you made a reservation and it didn't work out and you got to walk across the other side of the city in the middle of the night or whatever, you don't want a heavy backpack. And these things happen. We know they happen. So I bring bathing suit, bring a pair of shorts, I bring about 2 or 3 pairs extra underwear for every pair of shorts that I bring, only because of the tropics, for very obvious reasons, I'm sure. You guys understand. I also bring squirt guns for little kids. Kids seem to love them. You seem to love them. You have a little squirt gun battle on the streets with them, I also have some small personal knickknacks that you can't go wrong with taking something that's a very special personal thing that you like. So I'm taking tea. Tea is my go-to, my personal thing. Not too big, just the right size. Some teas you just can't get where you go. So once again, ginseng tea, special type of tea. Sure, they have 100,000 types of ginseng where I'm going. That's phone chargers, which on the plane, of course, goes in a little bag. Half of the stuff that you have in this bag can go into that little bag when you're going onto a plane or on a bus. You want to pack a lunch, stuff like that. So this bag, this is a complicated one, but I should definitely explain it to you guys. So if you need to go to a laundromat to do your laundry, the laundromat's closed because it's Sunday, or say the city or small town that you've hitchhiked to doesn't have a laundromat, or it's been raining and it's too humid for your clothes to dry. A lot of the times that I found that for at least 3 to 4 days, even after the maximum point that I had to do laundry, you have a set of clothes for every day. Bring 3 sets of clothes and then can't wash them because maybe you're not in the right place, or you hang them up to dry and it's just too humid for them to dry. And so you got to have an emergency way out. My emergency way out is to have some extra clothes, just a few extra bits of clothes. You always want to have some extra socks, especially in the tropics. Incredible how far that they can go in keeping you feeling good and stuff. So the last of my personal touch, which I like to bring with me myself, because not a lot of the times there's not a Staples or an office store, there's not a computer store lying around that has paper of certain types and kinds. And I'm not just going to go and buy a cereal box so that I can make one or whatever. So I have postcard materials. I have postcards that I personally just bring with me. And I make postcards and send them home. I send them to friends. I send them from specific countries, wherever, Everybody likes a postcard from a friend. So yeah, that's pretty much my bag. Might be some extra stuff here. I don't leave home without a medical kit. Even when I go hiking up mountains or some minor trails, I'll still bring like a small medical kit with me. So in here, there's some iodine tablets, some Neosporin, dermatology ointment, like dermatitis ointment. So like you go to the tropics, you get like trench foot type of deal, stuff like that. There's some foot powder, foot cream, Benadryl, some sutures, sewing needle for the bag, not for me. But there is a sewing needle in here for me as well. There's an anaphylactic shock thing. So I guess you smell it or something, and it gives you the effect of like an EpiPen. There's needle nose pliers in here for sewing, because some of the canvas on the bag is actually pretty hard to sew through. If you go to a place that doesn't have a hospital, once again, it's like super glue goes bad. Depending on how long you're traveling for, super glue is probably not a wise choice to put inside of your bag, but a good sewing needle and thread, some numbing agent is actually a pretty good thing to bring as well. Yeah, so there's some gauze in there, some minor medical stuff in there. Purell, don't forget your Purell. Definitely want to have a little bit of alcohol with you. Deodorant, soap. Definitely don't forget your soap. If you forget your soap, life is over. Finished. And this is a personal favorite. It's cologne. World's cheapest cologne. It's not a glass bottle, so people don't get it. You get your bag thrown around, it doesn't break inside your bag, and it's really cheap. It smells great too. It's the economic cologne that I always use. So that's my bag. That's how I pack my bag. Now I'm going to put everything back inside, and you guys are going to get to see how I do that. So again, this is the most important thing. When you pack your bag, you want to pack your bag with the smallest attire that you're going to be wearing. So essentially like a pair of shorts, because I'm going to go to Indonesia. So I'm going to be leaving a pair of shorts outside the bag. I'm going to be leaving so this pair of shirt and shorts will be left outside the bag, and then everything else that you might not be wearing on the plane, or you might not be wearing while you're doing something. Everything else goes inside the bag, and nothing should be, for this original packing, nothing should be inside of this little tiny baby bag that you would normally bring on the airplane with you, or to the supermarket, or for a day trip. Nothing should be inside that bag. Everything should be inside of this bag. If you needed to run from somebody, like you need to run from a small mob, you want everything inside this bag. Okay, so again, in order from first to last. Emergency clothes for when that laundry day really evades you. I'll put all my socks in here except for like 2 pairs. Those are not emergency clothes, they're just the most easiest place to put the socks. Postcards, shoe polish. Emergency clothes. It's the one that you're probably going to use the least. You're probably never going to take them out of your bag. So I just put them right at the bottom. You really want to like pack it down in every little tiny crevice. So, for example, if TSA goes to check your bag, now that I should go over this first, but there's a membrane inside of this bag at about this level, and it separates the top from the bottom. It's unzippable, so I unzip it and flap it down so that I can force everything from the top of the bag into the bottom. Secondly, if there's going to be something suspicious in your bag, you want it to be the most easily accessible to them. So when they x-ray it, you want to be able to take it out, or for them to take it out, as easily as possible. So you don't have to take everything out of your bag. So the T-tin goes in the front, at the bottom, where they can easily access it. There's my dress clothes that are not suit pants, so I can scrunch them up and fold them as much as I want to. It's an economic pair of dress clothes. Next comes the boots. So I love this flexible leather. You want to get those boots in that perfect, like, yin-yang, you know what I mean? Then comes the bag of the shorts, shirts, you know, regular tropical type clothing that you're going to use the most. Right, and so the last portion now is for my suit jacket. Maybe my charger, stuff like that, to go into the top where the retainer goes, because this is a very special type of situation. I normally never take a suit jacket with me. I usually just take like a regular, almost like a windbreaker type winter jacket that's like a little bit fleece-like on the inside. Yeah, I don't know where it is, but point is, normally I take something that is good for the cold and not so tropical type climates. But in this one, I'm going to take a rain jacket and a not winter jacket, because the tropics where I'm going are going to be not so cold, but just excessive downpour. And if I mess up on judging it, I can always go to a store and buy something, right? So with this, keep this in mind when you make a retainer. See the line at which it comes to here? Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. It's where the membrane of the bag turns into regular canvas. Now if you do make a membrane retainer, if you do make a retainer for your GoPro, your phone charger, or maybe a tablet or something like that. If anybody says that you can't scrunch a jacket up like this, they just have to use a polyester one that is less prone to creasing. And if they say that you shouldn't do it, they're probably right. You shouldn't do it. And you should never leave your jacket in your bag like this more than maybe like an hour or two. And then if you do it, put it onto a coat hanger and leave it out all night so that the creases, you know, come out a little bit. And if you're going to mistreat a jacket like this, expect the jacket to eventually get destroyed. So the reason why I talk about the retainer coming right to the edge of the canvas that is below the membrane, just so that the bag will close. See, it's come over the edge now. So that's it. That's how I make my bag up. My toothbrush and my toothpaste, they always stay inside my little bag. I do have flip-flops. I actually do carry flip-flops with me. But they go flat and they stay inside of this bag. You know. So when I go to the airport, I take spare pair of shorts, underwear, socks, in case I step in a nasty puddle on the way to the airport or something. Get caught in the rain, somebody spills wine on me, you know, some kind of accident like that. And I take my lunch in a small backpack too. But when you're walking from bus stop to bus stop in whatever foreign country, if you're backpacking or hitchhiking, you don't want to have excessive stuff. You don't want to have too much weight when you're carrying it. You want to have a bag that fits really, really good. If your backpack doesn't have this, and that goes around your hip so that you don't get like pinched nerves in your back or anything, that's kind of a really important thing. What else is there? You gotta have a backpack cover. So this thing, it's not super important if you're not really backpacking like in a way of hitchhiking. It's not super important for that. But I really like them. So it's got these little clips on here, and got one at the top, at the sides. And so I guess maybe you just clip it together and that's it, you know. So this is definitely a really unorganized video for a backpacking tutorial. The very last thing, last two things is you gotta have a padlock with you. You have to have a padlock with you because when you go to hostels or when you go to hostels and stuff like that, you need a padlock for the hostel lockers. A lot of people don't really realize that or know that, but yeah, you gotta have a padlock with you. I recommend just a typical master lock. And then I bring toys, you know, like kids' toys. It's a personal thing. I see a kid that's, you know, in poverty or something, and I really enjoyed having kids' toys. You know? That's it. That's it. The other thing is Motrin and or aspirin or something that you prefer, like a leave or something for a headache. Because if you get a headache and you're in the middle of the nowhere, backpacking, something like that, you're really, 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 really gonna want some ibuprofen or something. And that's it. That's how I backpack. That's what I do. The only thing that's missing from my setup right now is my rain jacket. My rain jacket is folded up. It's wet right now, so the only thing that I would say is pack a really thin raincoat, something that makes you warm enough in the climate that you're going to, and stay as safe as you possibly can when you're backpacking. So, yeah, that's it.